Hello and thanks for watching this video. It's going to focus on general QuickBooks navigation and info when you're in a client set of books. It's for staff of Anderson Advisors. We're going to start in the left-hand panel. Because of the services that you all provide to your clients, you will not be using all tabs. The overview tab is important. There's some great troubleshooting tips in here. The banking activity is great. Shows bank balance, right? What's in QuickBooks. What's not yet been accepted from the full review tab of the bank feeds, which we'll go to next. What's not been reconciled and reconciled through. Very important information. Also common issues as well. So the overview tab is going to be important too. Now, banking. This is where you're going to set up, or your client will have set up, checking account and credit card feeds. And this is a great way to enter data. We already have a related bank feed and reconciliation video, so you can watch that. You're going to focus on these sub-tabs within banking. Banking, which is the feeds, right? Like my MasterCard payable, checking account, whatever. And things downloaded automatically, right? That you're going to create rules for so that it auto-categorizes. And then, so there's that, right? Going to the right account, right payee, etc. Class location, stuff like that. And then you have receipts where clients upload receipts into this area from their phone using the QuickBooks app. It's just another feed source, and you can go ahead and choose the right account, and etc. So the banking is for that, right? And then you're going to have expenses. Expense transaction entry here, and the vendor center here. For transaction entry, however, I will remind you, is the plus new tab in the upper left of any client file you're in. I mean, that's the quickest way to get to the forms. So like expense, right? Payables, etc. Invoicing if you're doing AR, receiving payment. But again, there's another way and a faster way to get to all the transactional forms in this plus new tab, right? Or you can do it from the expenses window. And then you have vendors, right? Now, we'll come down to reports. You have your standard reports, which you will be running, like your profit and loss, balance sheet, trial balance, general ledger. You can quickly search for them, which I like. So you can just start typing profit and loss. You can start typing general ledger, right, and run that. And we'll have a reporting video, further along. It's really easy to find reports that way. I like to favorite the reports. You just star them, right? But so you have business overview, right? You're basically a P&L balance sheet, so company financial reporting, which again, you can find report by name. Remember that. And then you have who owes you, which is accounts receivable related, customer balance, sales and customer related. These are where a lot of your detail/operational reports are for sales or item activity. They're selling whatever services provided. What you owe. This is going to be your vendor balance, accounts payable. Then you have expense vendor reporting, sales tax, and then some account reports. When the For My Accountant section is where you'll find the general ledger, or the trial balance report. But again, I'm just typing up top, and it brings me right there, and then you just run the report, right? So I really like that search field up top for sure. So next in the left-hand panel, we'll come back to reporting. You have mileage. And this is where you'll be able to see, all the miles that your clients have driven, right? It's not accounting, it's just the miles, and then you can do journal entries for the expenses or what have you, or use a check or credit. I mean, check with whoever's training you on what you use to put in the cost of the mileage. But all we're tracking literally is, the miles driven for business related purposes. And they do that on their phone, right? Accounting, this is going to be chart of accounts and reconcile. This is your main backbone of the whole program, this chart of accounts here. And this is one way to access the chart of accounts. I like it because it's right in the left-hand panel, right? Or you can go to the gear icon, chart of accounts under your company. That too, but I hardly ever go that way. It's really up to you, right? Just like I really like the plus new for transactions and the left-hand panel for these tabs that I'm showing you, right? Did want to mention one thing about the chart of accounts. You click view register, right? Take you to the register. And by all means, this little gear icon right there, not the big one, the little one, paper ledger mode. So it drops you down to the bottom of the register in chronological order, right? Just a tip there. Yeah. And the chart of accounts should be in typical order of chart of accounts. Happy to sad, right? So you got your asset accounts, AR, things like that. Scrolls all the way down, and then income and expense and other expense, right? And in the middle there, you got fixed assets. So then you get into the liabilities, equity. So typical order of a chart of accounts you'd see on balance sheet and P&L. Order it alphabetically within each type or numerically, and that impacts how it relates to reports, right? Reconcile is also a tab off chart of accounts or you can get there from the gear icon in the upper right. We have a video on this, but this is where you go to reconcile, put in your ending balance on the statement you have, the statement ending date, and you click start reconciling. And if you've used the checking account and credit card fees, everything will be marked off for you. You're just finding transactions that didn't come through the feed that are still on the statement, for that ending date, and the difference should be zero, right? Between the ending balance and the clear balance. So that's what we're going for, just like any reconciliation in desktop you've done. The theme's the same. A couple more things. Accountant tools, the key stuff, right? You have a month-end review if you want to use it. Again, I prefer the overview tab, but this might be helpful. Batch or classify miscoded transactions right there. If you're used to using Accountant Edition on the desktop, working in your Pro Premier client files, and you use that reclassify transaction tool, it's the same here, right? Voided deleted transaction reports, helpful. This prep for taxes is a working trial balance if you want to use that, and another way to get to reconcile and or journal entries. So those are some of the key accounting tools. Journal entry, I usually go to plus new journal entry, right? And it's just debit credit, and it's got a balance. You can tag class, for that. You can tag location. And this is really, you're probably going to be doing some journal entries. And you can mark it an adjusting entry, even though by nature it's adjusting. But it correlates to an adjusting journal entry report that you also have access to. And then finally, standard versus custom reports. Let's go back to reports. And I have a larger reporting video if you want that. Just let Lancey know. But let's say you're doing a profit and loss, and these are standard reports, and you want to do some comparisons or something, or make some changes. So you're going to select the period. You want previous period, and then year-to-date and previous year-to-date. Click Run Report. And again, if you want cash basis, you would click it on there, Run Report again. And I got my cash-based reporting because most of your clients are cash basis. And then if you want to change the customization in any way further, then in the top section, you click on Customize. Maybe you want to filter by something specific, or a specific customer, vendor, item, or distribution account because it's a P&L, or class or location. That's fine. Whatever customizations you make to a summary or detail report, then you want to save the customization. Name it. You can add it to a groupie as well. And these saved reports, like AKA memorized reports in desktop, they reside in this custom report tab. And if they're part of a group, it's easy to see. Only you'll see the grouping that you create. See, I have like an operations group, RSM, etc. Or they can just be listed as saved reports. And you just click on it, and it'll run the report that you already customized, so you don't have to reinvent the wheel. And that takes us up to topic number 2. Thanks for watching the video.